Hello everybody, wait for the rest of the McAllen Cable Network, and welcome to another edition of Inside the PUB. I'm joined today in the studio by PUB Chairman Charles Amos to talk to us about some exciting things you guys have going on.
Oh, we've got lots going on. We've completed a lot, we're planning for a lot, and we're looking 10, 15, 20, 25 years down the road.
Very good. So we're going to talk about your past projects, your current projects, and things you're looking at into the future. Let's talk about some of the things that you guys have completed here recently.
We've completed a lot of different projects, but I think that the one that stands out most in my mind is what our staff was able to accomplish in our rehabilitation of the North Wastewater Treatment Plant.
Which is where, in perspective?
It's basically it's in between 10th Street and 23rd Street on Sprague Avenue. Okay. If everybody were to follow the future alignment of Bicentennial, which the city's going to try and punch through all the way through, we're going to be just west of Bicentennial. Okay. But it's almost due north of what is 18th Street right now. And that plant's a $40 million project, actually came in under budget, on time, but most important about it is we had an opportunity. We were one of the few people that had shovel-ready plans, ready to go when the stimulus money became available. We weren't able to utilize didn't get chosen for the first round, but we were asked to submit for a 0% loan. And we did that through the Texas Water Development Board. And that money, $40 million, at 0%, we saved the utility and the citizens and the ratepayers about $30 million over 30 years. So,
and increased capacity big time out there.
We did. The other thing that we did, not only did we increase capacity, but we paid real close attention to odor control. And those folks that are out in that area have historically had to deal with the wind shifts. Mm-hmm. And it's less of a problem. It's not perfect. But it's certainly a lot less than what it has been in the past. And the process that we're using is more favorable to odor control also. So, to me, that's a big win-win that we were able to accomplish and save a huge amount of money in doing so.
Very good. What would you say would probably be your second biggest project?
That we've completed, we've done a number of things that addressed some of the needs in our master plan. We did a water tower out in the medical center that a few people may have noticed that stabilizes pressure in that area during high demand times. We completed the new buoy reservoir, if you would. It increased the capacity of our reservoir capacity tremendously for our south water treatment plant. And I think the other thing leading to the water treatment plant, we end up having to buy water, and it's delivered by the irrigation districts. But more importantly, because of the ongoing drought, we've been looking in the future, and some 5-6 years ago, we started looking at putting in a groundwater well at the south plant, and that's been completed. So we're producing about 1.25 to 1.5 million gallons of water that we're not having to pay for the water. Nice. All of our water has, we pay for it, and we pay the irrigation districts to deliver. Which kind of leads me to the future. We're planning on looking at and doing a study and survey as to what would be the best location for that same kind of well at the north plant. And doing so, we keep looking at redundancy. We completed, with the completion of that reservoir, we completed a new line to irrigation district number 2 and irrigation number 3, which completes the redundancy. So both irrigation districts, if one were to go out or the other, would be able to supply McAllen with sufficient water. We're looking at the same thing on the north plant, not only the well, but we're looking at a contract with District 1 for delivery of water, and we currently get water from United. So it's all of those redundant things that we've done. That's why we built the north plant. But I'm excited about that and looking further into the future as far as things we're going to accomplish. We've done a great job as far as starting to do some rehab on some existing old aging infrastructure. These are leading into some of the projects of the future, and also we're looking at currently under design for Sprague sewer line, and that Sprague Road sewer line would extend west and north of Mission, and potentially could reach a number of colonias that are underserved, that are currently on septic tanks, that we're working with the county on trying to do something for a colonia that are at an underserved subdivision that has a tendency to flood and has septic tanks. So we're looking at trying to work with the county on those type of things. And we're starting to spread out and look at a regional aspect of how we can best serve the area. That's one thing in the future that we've got to really look at with the water fund that was voted on by the legislature in the past legislature. There's going to be funds available that are going to be focused by the Water Development Board into regional projects, which is one thing that we've been looking at for a number of years, trying to establish ourselves as so that we can serve not just the citizens of McAllen, but reach out to outlying areas so that they can be better served. A lot of the funding is going to be going to that in that direction. We've already started planning well before we found out that the funding was going that way. We started planning on a number of things, but once again, taking care of what we have in place, and that's part of our depreciation fund. We're reinvesting into the older infrastructure. We're working on the replacement of a water line, or water lines, I should say, in Balboa Acres. And a number of people remember when Balboa was a colonia. Thanks to that mayor, Mayor Brand, and a few others, utilizing some federal funding, they brought that into the city, and now it's part of the city. And one of the more established neighborhoods in South McAllen, we're going back in there and we're replacing old water lines. And it's a neat process that we're using, in that we don't have to trench all the way and replace the line. It's pipe bursting. They basically pull that new pipe inside the old pipe and rupture the old pipe and then come back in and make the individual connections. Technology, doing it less expensive. Those are the things that we've tried to do, and making our operation more efficient. We've tried to maintain a flat operating cost, tried to maintain no increases, but the future leads us to ensure that we can provide water to more and more expensive ways of doing that, because we have a limited amount of water that'll be available through the reservoirs in the Rio Grande River. So we're looking at salt water, we're looking at brackish water, groundwater, and desal. We're also have been looking at and have under design what I'm going to call the more traditional reuse type projects, basically taking water that is reclaimed from our sewer plants or effluent water and utilizing it for other needs, irrigation, chilled water systems, those types of things that don't have to have potable water. And there are currently throughout the world many projects that actually use this water in a direct circle, bringing it back to the water plant. Indirect reuse is something that's a little bit more popular, blending of it, but the water that comes out of our sewer plants is actually cleaner than the water that comes from the river. So in particular with particulates, suspended solids, etc. It just, for the future, it just makes sense to have all of the technology opportunities available to us. And that's what we're planning on doing. That's what we're currently doing.
And we're currently in stage 2 water conservation.
Yes, we are.
A lot of people are wondering how long we might be on a stage 2. A lot of people are hoping for a lot of rain.
We've had a little bit of rain over the last few weeks, and we had a couple of showers come through, which have reduced the demand that we may have on our plants. But our lake levels currently are still hovering around 30%. The last number I saw was 31 and some change percent of the capacity is water that's being held for us.
So we're just asking everybody to continue to be water smart.
It makes sense to be water smart. I mean, I have said this so many times, and I think it's a good analogy. We send out information about water conservation, and yes, every drop that we save is critical, because water is it's life. Unlike oil, you can find other ways. Unlike many other things, you can find other ways. But you can't do without water. So it's critical that we keep and be mindful and be good stewards of those resources that we have.
Very good. Let's talk real quick about current projects that you have going on. I know that we recently reported about a new lift station at 2nd and Violet and also a sanitary sewer project on the south side. Can you kind of bring us up to speed on where we at?
Okay, 2nd and Violet is an older lift station, and as people at just south of Nolana on 2nd Street might remember, there was an older lift station that we rehabbed at that location too. We're paying close attention to odor control. We'll be doing the same thing at 2nd and Violet and increasing the capacity in that area for future development to the east. McAllen and our service area extends as far east as Jackson Road in some areas. I guess if you were to go Dove south, it's all the way out to Jackson Road, and then far as on the other side of Jackson Road, and north of Dove is Edinburgh. But once again, these areas here, we need to work closely with our neighbors to try and service these areas, but that's what we're doing with 2nd and Violet. We'll be extending a line, a major line in the future that will go east down Violet and extend into that area and serve the area that currently is not served by anybody, but it's part of our service area. And paying close attention once again to odor control. We are currently under design on I'm going to say many projects that would open up areas of McAllen to development. We're currently working on water lines that will extend all the way down to Dicker Road, which is the northern border of Hidalgo. And we're currently looking at trying to design, we're in the process of designing sewer lines to open up that south and eastern areas of McAllen to have those areas that are underserved or not served have full service and capability.
Very good. What other projects do you guys have down the road?
Well, in combination with reuse, we'll be replacing a lot of lines. We have currently under design a line that will take reuse water from our south wastewater plant, and we also that will take it to the convention center area, wet side part, and be able to utilize it for a number of different things, in particular irrigation in those areas for the convention center. Not using potable water or drinking water. Instead, we'll be using reuse water. That saving puts less demand on what we have to acquire. We'll probably be looking at, in conjunction with that, new disinfection on the south plant to make our ability to disinfect and clean the water better. We're looking at currently under design on rehabilitation of that south plant with a slight increase in volume, but most of that area, that service area of the south plant is already established, so there's not going to be that much growth in that area, but we're making sure that we are capable of handling those new areas that we're trying to open up with design. Like I said, we're designing water and sewer lines to go south and east of the floodways. We're designing to go north and west to take in the growth areas of McAllen. We're currently under design for those areas that are underserved so that we can complete that, I'm going to call it inside our boundary type deals. When I say inside our boundary, just like we were talking about extending out to Jackson Road, we're going to extend up to 107 and beyond to the northwest where we can better serve folks in that area. And I'm going to say filling in the box. McAllen essentially is 107 to Dicker, Jackson to Taylor, new water line down Taylor to give ourselves better capability and fire protection in some areas. All of these things we keep looking forward to. And then increasingly replacing older infrastructure that is aging before it becomes extremely problematic or an emergency to replace it all. We're planning all of these things for the future and doing them now.
Very good. And we certainly invite everybody to stay connected with you guys. You meet on the second Tuesday of every month at 4 o'clock here at the City Commission room, 3rd floor, City Hall.
Second and fourth
Tuesday of every month. Very good. And you can watch the meetings live right here on MCN.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the time.
Very good. We should also remind everybody that you guys are on the web and they can call you guys as well.
Well, and there on that web we have easy links to go ahead for our ratepayers to go ahead and pay their bills, get information, and starting to expand even into the social medias, much like the city is.
Very good, making it all convenient for the customers.
Trying our
out there,
best.
for the citizens. All right, Charles Amos, it's always a pleasure to have you in our studio.
Appreciate you, Rick.
Appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
by, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
You bet.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, and we, of course, always thank you for watching. I'm Ray Pedraza. Thanks for watching Inside the PUB right here on the McAllen Cable Network.